What's going on, gang? Thanks for tuning back into the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at something that, quite honestly, this company's been trying to send me, and I've kind of been shying away from it, but I figured I would give it a shot to compare it to a couple of other popular camping type stoves that this thing is. So this is the Stokes Voltaics Joulle electric kettle. And essentially what it is, guys, is an electric Jetboil. And you might be thinking, why would you need an electric kettle? And I've got pretty good examples of times when I've been out camping and it's so cold in the morning, my Jetboil doesn't work. The isobutane, the small butane canisters that fit into the bottom of Jetboils, when they get cold, they do not produce a lot of heat. So I actually went out and bought an Amazon Essentials electric water kettle that I use on really cold mornings, and it works just fine. So this is what comes in the box. This is the kettle itself. Now, this has 3 preset settings on it. It's got a drink, an eat, and a pop. So the first 2 are useful. The third one, pop, they claim is to make popcorn. And I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna test it because I would never make popcorn out of this. I think that's kind of a gimmicky thing. But the drink and the eat settings have 2 different features or functions of them. So when you have this on drink, and it's just got a little tab that you move back and forth. And it's got a nice kind of click so you know where you're at. But the drink setting supposedly brings the water to a boil, then stops so it doesn't sit there and continue to boil. When you put it on the eat, it will stay at a boil up until there's no more liquid in here and it ruins it. So they do claim in the manual to, you have to make sure that you're watching this when you have it on the eat setting, because it will not auto shut down, much like my Amazon Essentials water kettle. So we're gonna give it a try, and we're gonna actually compare boil times with this to my Jetboil, to my Amazon kettle. And I have no idea how much power this thing uses, so I've got my BLUETTI over here that we're gonna hook it up to see how much it uses. I'm guessing probably around 1500 watts, much like my other kettle, but we'll find that out. So it comes with a power cord, manual, and that's it. Easy peasy. So this isn't rocket science, guys. You just plug it in. And this comes with a pretty nice length of a cord, I guess. That's maybe 4 feet. So the back of it is where the input is gonna be for this cord. And we're just gonna plug this booger up. Okay, so before I get to the water, let me show you what I'm gonna be comparing it against. So this is my Jetboil that I've been using for over a year now. And this is kind of, the tried and true campers, go-to for, boiling soup, making coffee, all that good stuff. But again, this type of fuel does not work very well when it gets really cold. You can get a propane adapter and use the green 1-pound propane tanks, which do work better in the cold, but this is what I've got. So we're gonna compare this to this, and we're also gonna be taking a look at my little $30 Amazon kettle that I have been using quite extensively right now while it is cold. So the Joulle is 70 bucks. $69.99 right now, $79.99 when it's not on sale. Jetboils can range anywhere from 60 bucks up to 120 bucks, depending on what size and model you get. And this little Amazon kettle right here was about $29. So we're gonna do a little test to see how fast each one of these things boils, see how much power the Joulle takes over the Amazon Essentials water kettle, and just kind of see what is this for? Who is this good for? I don't know, but let's get some water poured in this first and let's get a boil going. Okay, so the max amount of liquid that you can put in this, and it's got some pretty nice, embossed gravings on the inside, is 16 ounces. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get that on camera. Yeah, there you go, maybe. It's not coming through very well, but it does have some raised, embossed measurement lines. So we're gonna fill it all the way up to 16 ounces, and I'm gonna use that same amount of water for the other 2. All right, there is 16 ounces of water. I can't show you, but you'll just have to trust me. So I'm gonna get this thing hooked up to my BLUETTI, which this thing's got a 2400 watt output, so this should not be any problems for this guy. Get the AC cut on, and I'm gonna put this on drink. So once this gets to a boil, it's supposed to cut off. And I'm gonna start a timer, and I'm gonna hit the start button, and we're gonna start the timer. And so far, this is using 500 watts, which is a lot less than that kettle that takes 1500 watts. So this might, so far, be a good option if you're not carrying around a huge power station. You know, because a lot of these smaller power stations are around 6 to 7 to 800 watt output capacity. So it looks like this is regulated at no more than 500 watts, at least on the drink setting. All right, we are 4 minutes and 40 seconds into this test. It is not boiling yet. The outside is warm and it's making some noise. This is not my inverter going. Which I was surprised to see that this made that much noise. I mean, it's not annoying or anything, but. So we have some steam coming up, but it is not quite yet boiling. I think it's gonna be pretty quick now though. Okay, we're just gonna kind of watch it. It's got some really small bubbles in the bottom starting to come up, but I'm curious to see if this comes to like a true full rolling boil before this setting shuts it down. And we haven't gone above 500 watts this whole entire time. So it looks like right around 495 watts is what this thing takes to get to a full boil. We're getting close, but we're 6 minutes in. Okay, we are boiling now. See if you can hear that. Okay, we are boiling. I'm gonna stop this watch. So 6 minutes and 30 seconds is what it took. Now I'm gonna see if this actually does cut off like it says it's supposed to. I'm gonna put my lid back on though because it's splashing. And I can hear it kind of simmering down. Yeah, wow. So it did stop. So 16 ounces of water. It took 6 minutes and 30 seconds to come to a full boil, and we never got above 500 watts. Now this isn't gonna be a real fair test because this takes 1500 watts, so it's gonna boil much faster, but this is around $40 cheaper. So let's see how long it takes to boil. I mean, and the good thing about this, it does have like a neoprene cover on it, so this was just boiling and I'm able to still pick it up. And the actual bottom, the base, is not hot at all. So that's a good thing. All right, so 16 ounces is about half a liter. Right there. Get this thing plugged in. Get it started. Start. And obviously, yeah, 1510 watts out of this thing. So this shouldn't take anywhere near 6 minutes and 30 seconds. But if you don't have a huge inverter or a huge battery, that little Joule might be an option. But running at 500 watts for 6 minutes is going to deplete your battery, depending on what size it is. So it's kind of a give and take. This is a very large inverter, so it's not going to take as long to heat this water up, but it takes 1500 watts. So it kind of does even itself out in the long run. And we're already getting little micro bubbles, and it's been going for 1 minute. I don't know if you guys can see this. We're getting close. All right, I'm gonna call that a boil. Stop. 2 minutes is what that took. 1500 watts. So I'm gonna stop this. So it boiled water almost 4 minutes faster, albeit it took 3 times as much power versus the Joule. So yeah, they both boil water. The Joule just takes a little bit longer because it's only 500 watts. All right, now let's test out the old tried and true Jetboil. And we're gonna put in, again, 16 ounces. And there is a line on the Jetboil for 2 cups. There we go, get the lid on. And with the Jetboil, you can actually watch it get hot, which is kind of cool. And I'm gonna put it on full blast. Start. Okay, we're coming up on 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and we're boiling. So stop. All right, so this took, again, 2 minutes and around 30 seconds. So 30 seconds longer than the 1500 watt Amazon Essentials kettle, and about 4 minutes less, again, than the Joulle Stokes Voltaics electric kettle. So pretty interesting, but you know, Jetboils are tried and true. They're great if you have the right, if you're in the right ambient temperature. Again, if it's cold outside, these little canisters have a hard time boiling water, and if it's windy. I have come to scenarios where trying to get coffee made in the morning and it's super windy, this thing is hard to stay lit, which is why I ended up buying that Amazon Essentials water kettle. All right, so yeah, it's a neat little product. I've been reluctant to test this thing just because I didn't really see a need for it. Again, it uses a lot less power to boil or heat food than my 1500 watt electric kettle, so that is good. It does take longer to boil because it is not quite as powerful as that kettle that I used. It feels pretty well built. I've seen a couple of complaints online that this little tab that you go from drink to eat to popcorn couldn't really feel where you were at. It didn't click. My particular model clicks just fine, so you can tell exactly where you're at. You know, it's got a pretty good heft to it. The neoprene sleeve around it is nice. I don't know if I would actually take this with me personally, just because I always have a power station normally that can power that 1500 watt water kettle. But if you don't have a really huge inverter or the capability to push 1500 watts to an appliance, this might be a good option, because again, 500 watts is pretty low, and it worked. What can I say? I'm not gonna pop popcorn, because I would never make popcorn out of this. Again, I think that's kind of a gimmick thing. I don't know. Maybe you would make popcorn out of this, but then I'd be afraid everything that I would eat or drink would taste like butter. So I'm not gonna do it. But it is a pretty nice little camping gadget, I guess. And right now, again, I think it's $69.99. And you know, it's about the same size as my Jetboil, so it wouldn't take up any more space, and the cord actually stores in the cup. Got a little handle if you're afraid to drop it while you're drinking coffee. I don't know, but it's got a little handle on it. So yeah, there's really not much else I can say, guys. It boils water, it does it at 500 watts, and it takes 6 minutes and 30 seconds to boil 16 ounces worth of liquid. So if you have a need for it, or if you're interested in taking a look at it yourself, I'll put the link down below in the description. And you know, check out for sales. Make sure that you buy this thing on sale, and you might be happy with it. It worked. That's all I can say. So gang, until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.